On my early bike tours, the technology didn't really exist to document a bike tour in the way that I am doing now. When I first rode from Oregon to Mexico down the California coastline in 2001, I had a 35mm camera with 2 rolls of film, so I could take about 24 photos on the entire bike tour. Then the following year I did the same thing, rode across America with a 35mm camera and 2 rolls of film. So again, I have about, I don't know, 20 photos from that whole trip. Then the following year, 2003, is when I bought my first digital camera. It was a Sony CyberShot, if I remember correctly, and it had a 16 megabyte SD card in it, so you could take about 10 photos on this camera before you had to offload them onto some other device, which I would then go to a library and email those photos to myself, and then I would delete the photos, and then I could take 10 more photos. Then over the years, the cameras started to slowly get better and better. You could store more and more photos, and then you could, at some point, you could shoot video as well on a digital device, which was incredible for me because I knew that video would be the way to go, but it was still, the technology was a long ways off before you were able to store like hours of footage on a digital camera. So I, at one point, was carrying I don't even know what it was. It was a big camera, a big video camera that was about as big as a loaf of bread. And I had about 16 different tapes that were, mini DV tapes that you could record on. Each one recorded about an hour's worth of footage. And I would carry this massive load of cameras and recording equipment. And now the technology is so incredible that I can record hours and hours and hours and hours of footage, have thousands of photos just on my phone, on the SD card on my phone. So this is what's allowed me to make so many movies in the last few years. But it's a shame that technology is only where it is now, because if I could go back in time, I would have 15 years of additional videos that I could have shared from my bicycle train adventures all the way around the world. And it's such a shame that I don't have video from those early bike tours, that I really only have video from the last 5, 6, maybe 7 years or so is when the technology got to where I could create, a 15-minute video from a daily bike tour such as this. So anyways, just a little thing about cameras and technologies and batteries. Anyways, I'm going to jump back on my bike. I don't see any bighorn sheep here, and continue on my way.